Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to the honorable mentions of my top 30 Southern Rock album countdown. We've been doing it all throughout the month of June. My top 30, actually 31 picks. You got a bonus pick during the month, as I generally give you. But there's a lot of others, right? It's so many albums to choose from. You know, so many people. Well, Pete, what about this album? What about that album? And you didn't represent this band enough and whatnot. You know, you can't include all of them. Can't include all of them. So I wanted to give some mention to a bunch of other albums that were considered that I do like quite a bit. There's more than this, obviously, but these are kind of like my main picks are the ones I like the most. These honorable mentions are like kind of just next in line, right? So I do want to give them all some brief mentions here. So let's kind of just list them all off. Starting off with 38 Special. How about Wild Eyed Southern Boys and Rockin' Into the Night? Allman Brothers Band, they were well represented in my list, but there were others that I really wanted to consider as well. Shades of Two Worlds, Where It All Begins, and Hitting the Note. 3 of the 4 albums that came post the 1989 reunion, all fantastic, all fantastic. The Black Crowes, Amorica, By Your Side, and Warpaint. Could really include any Black Crowes album on this because they're all really good. A lot of people asking for Blackberry Smoke. Right, they didn't make my top 30 because, I mean, they're a newish band. I don't really have a ton of history with them, but they do have some really strong albums. You Hear Georgia and Find the Light, I think, are 2 of my favorites, so Blackberry Smoke. Black Oak, Arkansas, another band that a lot of people were asking for and naming in their comments and their lists. High on the Hog. All right, High on the Hog is probably my favorite studio album from them, but stay tuned for the live album episode coming up, which... you may see Black Oak, Arkansas once again. Charlie Daniels Band. Again, a band that I kind of almost wanted to include more than one in my top 30, but, you know, it's kind of hard doing these lists. But Saddle Tramp, Fire on the Mountain, High Lonesome, and Full Moon, all really strong Charlie Daniels Band albums I like quite a bit. Really, any of his 70s albums are well worth including on the list. The Danny Joe Brown Band. Right, the one and only solo band from Danny Joe Brown, lead singer of Molly Hatchet. Fantastic album. Doc Holliday, Rides Again, their second album. Government Mule, Deja Voodoo. The Mule were a couple times appeared on my list, my top 30. Deja Voodoo, probably easily my third favorite album from them. They have a lot of strong ones, but those first handful are really, really good. Another band that I saw many of you mention, they didn't quite make my top 30 because I like these guys, but they're not quite like the top of the top echelon of the Southern Rock bands. And of course, I had no water this morning. But Grinder Switch, Red Wing, and Making Tracks, strong, fun albums. I like them. Next up, Henry Paul Band, Grey Ghost. You know, Henry Paul obviously was represented on a couple of Outlaws albums that made my top 30 list. I almost had Grey Ghost in my top 30. Grey Ghost is a really fine album. Of course, he leaves the Outlaws to form his own band. And again, the band is very similar to the Outlaws. And Grey Ghost is the first album from the Henry Paul Band. Probably their best. Really, really strong. A lot of people wondering about Johnny Winter, right? Johnny Winter, is he really Southern Rock? He is from Texas, which is down south, all the way down south. Yes, folks, Texas is part of the South. The U.S. federal government and the Census Bureau considers Texas a southern state. It is actually geographically the second most southern state next to Mississippi. It's the lowest state, so yes, it is part of the South. Johnny Winter is more straight blues most of the time, but I think the Johnny Winter And album is a pretty terrific studio album, and I almost considered having it on my list, but I do like it quite a bit, so I got it on here. How about the Marshall Tucker Band? All right, one of their albums made my list. Could Have Been More, A New Life, and Searching for a Rainbow. Both great albums. Stay tuned for the live album show. You'll be hearing more about the Marshall Tucker Band on there. Molly Hatchet, Beating the Odds, their third album, and first of 2 with Jimmy Farrar and lead vocals after Danny Joe Brown left. Killer album. Point Blank, second season, another band from Texas. You could pick either their first or their second album. They're both absolutely terrific. They got a couple other really strong ones, but second season I put in my honorable mentions. Here's another band from Louisiana, Pot Liquor. That's right, Pot Liquor. Louisiana rock and roll and first taste. They had about 4 or 5 albums, something like that, and pretty strong, kind of bluesy, pop-based southern rock. Very swampy. I think you guys will like it if you never listened to Pot Liquor before. Stillwater. Yes, Stillwater. Another pretty obscure Southern band. Their self-titled Stillwater and I Reserve the Right, their second album, both really strong Southern rock albums. A lot of fun, really good pop hooks on there as well. Just good rock, hard rock albums. Here's another band that, again, you only have so many spaces in the top 30, but this is another fairly obscure Southern rock band. Two Guns. Their one album called Balls Out. They were one of the latter stages Capricorn Records bands. And Two Guns Balls Out is really, really good. It's, lots of great guitar playing on there. It's more of one of the more rockin' Southern rock albums. It's a shame they only did the one album. Johnny Van Zant Band, No More Dirty Deeds, Van Zant. Johnny's been involved with lots of good Southern rock albums. God, you can include any number of the more recent Skynyrd albums as well, because I dig all of them. God and Guns and 1991 and... Vicious Cycle. There's a lot of really strong Skynyrd albums in the latter part of their career, so Skynyrd definitely should be up here as well. ZZ Top's first album, Tejas, Rio Grande Mud, DeGeo, all great albums. Rosington Collins Band, both of their albums are quite strong as well. They deserve to be on here. So yeah, they're basically that's the list. There's a lot more. There's other Outlaws albums I like, and there's other Molly Hatchet albums I like I mentioned, Beating the Odds. But, Molly, quite frankly, I know some people probably don't consider them anymore, but a lot of the Molly Hatchet albums that they have released with Bobby Ingram on as the leader of the band and really no original members have been really, really strong. You just take the Molly Hatchet name off of it, and it's actually a really strong, kind of modern Southern rock album that they've been releasing steady albums in the 90s and the 2000s. No new studio albums in a while, but during the 90s for sure, lots of them, and they're all really, really good. So check them out. Anyway, that's my honorable mentions. Like I said, like with the top 30, I'll also list all these in the comments below, but stay tuned for the live album list. That's right. My top 15 Southern Rock live albums is coming up right at you, so stay tuned for that. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Thanks so much for playing along each and every day here this month with this top 30 Southern Rock album countdown. I have really enjoyed doing this. This was a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of the genre, and it's been really cool just talking about it every day this month. And, of course, listening to all this stuff, right? So thanks again, and stay tuned for July's daily program, okay, which is all about power trios. That's right. I think it's, how many days we got in July, folks? Hold on. My 31 favorite power trio lineups in rock and roll history, okay? So 3 guys, right? Some of these bands may have had more members at some point, but at some point in time they were just a trio, and I'm going to be talking about my favorite power trios and probably give you my favorite album from each one of them. So that's Power Trio Month. I had a lot of people asking for this over the years, and I've been keep putting it on the back burner. I was like, you know what? July is the time we're talking power trios. So my 31 favorite power trios and my favorite album by each coming up starting July 1. So stay tuned for that. Start getting your list ready, folks, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.